I try to pick a spot out just in front of my ball around in this area to line my club face up to where I want it to start. And you know, then I just swing from there. So basically I'm aiming about this far in front of my ball. It's hard to screw that up. You know, if you're just aiming out there at the golf cart and you look at it and set it down, it's just a lot more room for error.
Boom. That's pretty. Right through the chute.
Right through the chute. A little low on the club face, but you know.
You don't have wrist cock at the top. You really don't break those wrists. Why? This
is the exact same way I've swung my whole life. I picked up a golf club when I was 14 months old in diapers, hitting it around the yard, and my dad said since I was 5 years old, my swing hasn't changed. A big reason for you know, distance is, you know, getting your hands out in front of the club, and that's one thing that I do very well on. At impact position, my hands are almost this far ahead of the ball. So, you know, it does two things. You know, you have all the whip of the club starting to come through right there, and you're de-lofting your club a little bit. So it's gonna have a lower trajectory, and the harder you swing, it's gonna take it out there further.
You've really got to exaggerate through the hitting area. You've really got to feel like the hands are way ahead. I mean, you still have to continue to rotate your chest as you do it. You don't want to hit it with just your arms.
You know, I don't break it up here like that. If I do that, I lose 20 yards. If I hit the ball, it'll go 50 yards right if I try to get the parallel. I still make a full swing because I have a very big shoulder turn. But when I make my shoulder turn, that's just where my arms end up. So, but you know, my wrist is cocked here, but coming all the way down, it never, from this position here, I just pull down basically. It doesn't move, doesn't break out here, and they come right here, and then I just start turning. My upper chest turns, and that turns the club and makes it square, and then follow through them all the way through here. My wrist really doesn't, where's my wrist break, man? About right here?
Right as you rotate. One of the reasons
right in there is
that he doesn't have to have that wrist cock on the back. So I can go ahead and go back to the top where you're just at. When you're asking about the wrist cock, when he sets it, going to the top, this change in direction from here, it's not with the hands. This is really important. Most people want to hit it from the top with the hands. His change in direction, he initiates with his hips, then his trunk, then his arms, then the hands, then the club. His sequencing, that's where you create a lot of your speed and power. And by not having a lot of wrist cock there, when he creates that change in direction, there's no arms or hands involved. When he does it, he starts with his lower body and then rotates his chest, and that creates the leverage there. He doesn't have to force it.
So your trigger, at least from the top, is?
My hips go first. You know, I get back, and my first motion is I start down with my hips. And then everything else just kind of follows.
That's the key to power. It's just to transfer energy from the ground up. That's the key. That's the keys to his power. I mean, you add the impact position in there with the proper, it's called the kinematic sequence. That's the order in which your body moves. You have hips, trunk, arms, hands, club, and you transfer the energy from the ground up. You go with your bigger muscles first, extending all the way out to the tip, kind of like a whip. I mean, when you crack a whip, you transfer all the energy into the end of it until you make it snap. And that's what he does such an excellent job of in his golf swing.
That is just ripped about 5 feet left of the flagstick. Right of the flagstick, rather. Oh my,
excuse me.
What a shot!
It's 300 yards with a 3-wood. Just icing on the cake.
I used to swing really hard. I don't swing very hard anymore. I got pictures of me when I was younger at impact where both my feet are
on your toes?
This far off the ground. No, I'm off the ground. I'm swinging so hard that I'm jumping at the ball. So, you know, to keep up with the other players. And I think that's a good thing to teach younger players now, to go ahead and, you know, just give it a rip. You know, right now you can let them swing hard, let them do that, because you can always back off. And if you're taught to swing real smooth and everything like that, it's just harder to gear up. You see those people that grew up like that, they can't really gear up, but somebody that grew up swinging as hard as they can definitely gear down.